Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It is Monday. Today is the 16th day of August, and that means today is National Tell a Joke Day. I would ask Heidi to tell a joke, but none of her jokes are able to be told on the radio. Am I right or am I right?
There was a man from Nantucket.
Yeah, just move on. It's also National Roller Coaster Day, National Airborne Day, and National Rum Day. And with enough rum, Heidi's jokes are even funny. Hey, I've got a guest joining me today. Donal Logue is an actor that's been in a bunch of things like The Patriot, Reindeer Games, Blade. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. There's a ton of different things. Vikings, that's a TV show that a lot of folks like him from. Law and Order, Special Victims Unit, Gotham. I mean, ton of stuff. And he's got a book out about Danny Trejo. The book is called TREJO. He co-wrote it with Danny Trejo. Fascinating guy. Going to be chatting with him coming up in just a bit.
Addiction. It's not a pretty thing. Addiction can lead to many problems in your life. Addiction can drive away those who love you the most. And addiction can lead to the loss of jobs, relationships, and even your life. Don't let addiction tear your life apart anymore. Get the help you need to defeat addiction and put the pieces back together in your life. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. They want to help. Timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. A study finds consumers devote more time to research their car or refrigerator purchase than they do their doctor or health plan. They found consumers are willing to research the cost when they invest in things like that, but for whatever reason, they've spent a lot less time for things that are really important, like, health care.
I think people assume that if they've got a degree and they've got a practice that they're probably good, but
they didn't all
there's
graduate
always
top
people,
of their class.
Yeah, exactly.
A study found, I remember somebody said they should put their GPA right on their diploma.
Yeah.
Maybe they should. New study found 20 of 100 dish rags carried germs that caused food poisoning, skin ailments, and more. So make sure you clean it. We actually have disposable dish rags now. I like that. And a new study claims people can see health improvements just by exercising vigorously for 4 seconds at a time. So saying, you don't have to do a ton, just 4 seconds at a time, which I think I got that down. Gonna take a break here and do that. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Do you have a credit card? We'd like to help you get a better credit card. If you don't have any credit cards, we'd like to help you too. At BetterCreditCards.com, we have credit cards that offer different things for different people. Some cards offer points. Some cards are designed to help you build your credit. BetterCreditCards.com wants to help you get a better credit card, no matter what you're looking for. See if we can help you find a better credit card at BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com.
This is your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by timeforrehab.com. A New York native boarding a flight at Southwest International Airport ended up in handcuffs because he wouldn't stop vaping on the plane. They were notified that there was a guy, Nicholas Sacconi, vaping on an airplane. He wouldn't stop. That's when, by the way, he was drunk. And he started using racist slurs and homophobic slurs towards people that were trying to get him to stop vaping. Then he called 911, wanted to talk to the supervisor. That earned him a pair of handcuffs for misusing 911. And now the FAA, Federal Aviation Administration, says they have a zero tolerance for unruly passengers, which is a good thing. And they're also saying, we're really trying to get people to quit boozing it up before they fly, because that almost every time there's an unruly passenger,
badly, yeah.
It comes back to alcohol. So they're calling on airports to limit the amount of alcohol that the bars and restaurants in the airports serve people before they fly somewhere, because they're saying, hey, that is going to stop a lot of the issues. So I've got a link to the story in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by channelsurfertv.com. I think we've talked about both of these stories, but I have a different source for each of them. So the first one, actress Kristen Bell recently stated that she and her husband, Dax Shepard, also an actor, only bathe their two daughters when they, quote, smell bad, end quote. Bell claimed that...
Those guys too, huh?
Yeah, they claimed that she and Shepard also do their part in protecting the environment by only using water when absolutely necessary. Didn't we already talk about that? Or
It wasn't. No, it was Ashton and
not
Mila.
Demi. Yeah, Mila Kunis.
Yeah.
I think those guys are all pals, by the way. And Disney is opening a new Star Wars-themed hotel. We did talk about that, didn't we? Because we were talking about how much it is per night. Wasn't it like $4,000 for a weekend or something? So,
yeah.
Anyway, all of the stuff we've talked about, I feel as though it's reruns, which also kind of feels like big screen, little screen. Big screen, little screen, by the way, brought to you by channelsurfertv.com.
At WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com, we help you get ready for all the fun holidays throughout the year with fun, silly, and just plain weird gift ideas for your friends. If you have a friend who has a bizarre sense of humor, we've got a gift for them. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com posts a link to something that will make you smile each and every day. Whether you buy these weird gifts or not, it's worth checking out just for a smile. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. That's WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
Now your scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of PureCanaCompany.com, promo code radio. Forbes magazine reporting that Rihanna is now officially a billionaire with a B. Net worth of $1.7 billion, making Rihanna the wealthiest female musician in the world and only second to Oprah Winfrey in the entertainment field. So she's doing okay. No word on when she's flying to outer space. Now that she's a billionaire. Isn't that a rule? If you're a billionaire, you got to build a rocket and get off this planet.
Well, good for her.
Yeah, very cool. Russia is accusing America of rigging the Olympics. The American delegation says that is preposterous.
Well, that is ridiculous. We've lost almost everything.
You know, like, we rigged the Olympics to come in third. We did okay in some things, apparently. 3 of America's most popular airlines are not instituting a COVID-19 vaccine mandate for their employees. Do you want to know which 3?
Yes.
American, Delta, and Southwest.
Nice.
There you go. I've got a link to that, by the way, for those of you that are wondering. A graduate student has proven that Twitter algorithms are biased towards younger and slimmer faces, which explains why 4 people follow my page. The latest census data is expected to reveal that the number of white people in the United States has declined for the first time in history, according to Brookings Institution, or is it Institute? I've always heard it as Brookings Institute. Either way, it says institution here. Demographer William Frey said the lower number of millennials having children could have accelerated this decline. So they're saying, hey, get out of mom's basement and go find somebody, is what they're saying. That's them, not me. Don't get mad at me. And our final story, this I cannot believe, does not say a Florida man, but no, it is a Chicago man, which is not Florida. A Chicago man got in a road rage incident and bit off another man's nipple.
Ew.
I don't know what led up to that, but
that makes you cringe.
It does. This is not good. I'm moving on, and yeah, that's bad. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Early to bed, early to rise makes you healthy, wealthy, and wise. This is a great quote from Benjamin Franklin. At InsuranceChicken.com, we know a thing or two about great quotes. We help people get great insurance quotes every day. It's super simple and free to find out if we can make you healthy, wealthy, and wise. Okay, I can't guarantee that, but I can assure you we'd love to help at InsuranceChicken.com. We want to help you peck out great deals on insurance. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
It's another Movie Star Monday. Our guest today is Donal Logue from The Patriot, from Blade, from Reindeer Games, also from the small screen, things like Vikings, Sons of Anarchy. Welcome to the program, Mr. Donal Logue.
Thanks, man. Really appreciate the opportunity to talk about Danny's book, you know.
And you got to work with Danny Trejo on this book, Trejo, My Life of Crime, Redemption in Hollywood, and you guys have had a chance to work together a lot.
Absolutely. We met 30 years ago, 22 years ago. I was reintroduced to Danny on this movie called Reindeer Games up in northern British Columbia in Canada, and we became super tight friends. You know, our families are close and our kids, and 3 years ago, a friend of mine said, Danny should do a book and you should write it with him, because she knew that I was close enough to him and could do the writing side. Because before, when Danny was approached to write books, he just couldn't jive with the kind of professional writers. It was tough for him to really open up or let people into his inner sanctum, and I was already kind of there, so I was fortunate in that regard. But there's no one like Danny. I've never met anyone like him. No one as emotionally intelligent, as inspirational, as brilliant in so many ways, who's overcome so much. And this book only brought us closer and made my admiration for him grow. The only thing I didn't want to do was drop the ball, because this book I wanted to be worthy of this guy whose life is so much more than the film or television shows that you know. I mean, he's 77 years old, but he didn't get into this world until his early 40s, and there was just so much more to the story.
And what an amazing story, because he didn't necessarily have the greatest start to his life, but what a turnaround. And Danny Trejo seems like one of the nicest dudes on the planet.
He is absolutely one of the nicest guys on the planet. It's hard sometimes to go back into that mindset when he had to be one of the baddest dudes, to survive the world he was growing up in and what he was doing. I mean, this guy was doing armed robberies at 14 years old, and he didn't know at some point if he was doing robberies to support a drug habit or drugs to support a robbery habit. It's just the truth. And he had this spiritual conversion, and he has this mission to help others, and that the only way he can receive help and maybe absolution from the life he led was by helping others and being that guy. And he's just, if you get to meet him, it's special. And he'll take time with anybody, anywhere. He's off in Italy right now doing a movie, at 77, how crazy. That's kind of his life. He's always bouncing. But the book came out, it hit the New York Times bestseller list, and it felt like a little bit of a vindication that we had worked hard on this book, and we understand that if you're going to ask people to take hours to read something, you have to make it as good as you possibly can. And I'm really proud of it, because I'm really proud of him.
And you should be. There's praise all over the place on this book. Danny has a fascinating life, but Donal, you've got a fascinating life too. Who knows, maybe someday there will be a book about your life.
It's certainly something to weigh, although in working on Danny's book, it's so bizarre, because the only way it really works is if you get vulnerable and get super honest. And then when confronting that with yourself, you're like, dude, could I do that?
Yeah.
It's intense to put it all out there on the page, but I've been fortunate to have a really amazing life and a really cool ride. My parents were, there are a couple of Irish people who met in Africa, and their life stories have been really amazing, and they've had to just kind of bounce and survive. And in a weird way, that is what made me, I think, choose the career path I've been on, because it replicated that bouncing around so much as a kid. And I was just the coolest creative thing I've ever been involved in is working on Danny's book with him. It really is. It was really. I have to say, we had been really, really close friends, but this just brought us closer, and I'm excited for people to dip into Danny's life, and I think that they're going to be inspired in a way that they didn't anticipate, more so than entertained, of course.
Well, I'm excited to read it myself. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today.
Yeah, please do, and thank you so much.
Again, the new book, Trejo, My Life of Crime, Redemption, and Hollywood. I've got a link to it in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Addiction. It's not a pretty thing. Addiction can lead to many problems in your life. Addiction can drive away those who love you the most. And addiction can lead to the loss of jobs, relationships, and even your life. Don't let addiction tear your life apart anymore. Get the help you need to defeat addiction and put the pieces back together in your life. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. They want to help. Timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Alaska is a special state. You know why?
Why?
Well, there's probably a whole lot of reasons why, but it's the only state that can be typed on one row of keys on your keyboard.
I think I already knew. I think I knew this.
A-L-A-S-K-A. Yeah, it's all in the center row. So, no, I'm looking to see if there's others. I'm going to keep looking. Doesn't look like it. No. Need a couple rows for all of those.
And typewriter is the only thing that is the longest word that can be spelled on just the top row.
Is it really? Mm-hmm. Okay, well, look at that. Wow, we learned lots of stuff today.
Did.
That's probably accelerating or invigorating or I don't know what word I'm looking for. Some word that I didn't know for people listening at home, listening to me think. That's bad. This is your fun fact for today. Now you know. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Do you have a credit card? We'd like to help you get a better credit card. If you don't have any credit cards, we'd like to help you too. At bettercreditcards.com, we have credit cards that offer different things for different people. Some cards offer points. Some cards are designed to help you build your credit. Bettercreditcards.com wants to help you get a better credit card, no matter what you're looking for. See if we can help you find a better credit card at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Now, RadioTravelGroup.com presents a news headline from somewhere in this world. Dateline Germany, a 41-year-old teacher who is accused of having killed another man and eaten pieces of the victim's body went on trial in Germany's capital recently. So that is just yucky. So accused of. That doesn't,
allegedly.
so we don't know for sure, but until we know for sure, let's not invite this person over for dinner. I'm just saying that. Anyway, that is a news headline from somewhere in this world.
At WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com, we help you get ready for all the fun holidays throughout the year with fun, silly, and just plain weird gift ideas for your friends. If you have a friend who has a bizarre sense of humor, we've got a gift for them. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com posts a link to something that will make you smile each and every day. Whether you buy these weird gifts or not, it's worth checking out just for a smile. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. That's WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
Now some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. Robin Hood's former hideout is now a haven for nude hikers. Naked ramblers is what they call themselves in the Sherwood Forest. In the nude, infuriating locals who have started a petition to have the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds, they run the park, to stop promoting nudity. Robert Robinson, who organized the petition, claims he recently saw a group of 12 naked men frolicking in the forest.
Frolicking.
This must be Robin Hood's merry
frolicking.
men. I'm guessing. Must have been.
They're merry.
Every day in good weather, nudists can be seen, the police state, and is an offense, and we find it offensive, which we do. So they're trying to get this to stop. They said, I've walked this area for 18 years.
Yeah, I can kind of
There have been many naked men walking around, and it's intimidating and alarming, said one of the petition signers, a lady who signed it. Says, when we challenged a guy to not sticking to the rules and not covering himself, he suggested we read the Welcome to Nature sign, which states if we don't see naked people, if you don't want to see naked people, go elsewhere. So now they're saying, hey, can we please make this stop? It is a bizarre story. That's why it is today's Weird News.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh, brought to you by BetterResultsAdvertising.com. A British exotic dancer and her boyfriend were sentenced to jail for robbing a fellow dancer of more than $11,000 in tips during a jealousy-fueled theft that happened in January. 29-year-old Gemma Lyons and her 36-year-old lover, Nicholas Proctor, given sentences of 2 and 5 years, respectively, for brutal early morning attack on a person who worked with this other lady, Michaela Sarmaza, I think is her name. They say they became enraged and hatched a plan when a generous client that she had tried to entertain ended up showering the other person, the victim, with piles of cash, over $11,000, the night preceding the crime. The next morning, that's when she left the club, and these two attacked her and tried to take the cash. So she got bruised and cut in the attack. To find out a coworker, this is a quote, to find out a coworker was responsible shook me, she said. I thought we would look out for each other and not prey on one another. So it's a bad idea to do that.
It really is.
It is. That's why it is today's Moment of Duh.
Early to bed, early to rise makes you healthy, wealthy, and wise. This is a great quote from Benjamin Franklin. At InsuranceChicken.com, we know a thing or two about great quotes. We help people get great insurance quotes every day. It's super simple and free to find out if we can make you healthy, wealthy, and wise. Okay, I can't guarantee that, But I can assure you we'd love to help at InsuranceChicken.com. We want to help you pack out great deals on insurance. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Time right now for Is It a Golf Course or Is It a Rehab Center? Brought to you by TimeForRehab.com. Heidi looks really nervous because she has been on a winning streak.
I have. See, now you're going to jinx me.
She's done really well. And we are going to give you this one. Are you ready?
Sure.
All right, here we go. Which one? This one. New Frontier, Fallon, Nevada. Is it a golf course or is it a rehab center? New Frontier.
I'm going to say this is a rehab center.
And the answer is Rehab Center.
Nice.
Yes. That does sound like a rehab center.
It does.
That's good. You did good, Heidi.
Thank you, John.
You did real good. She's been on a roll for quite some time, and we're going to see if we can maybe get her sometime this week. But not today. Not today at all. That is how we play. Is it a golf course or is it a rehab center? Brought to you by TimeForRehab.com.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news. And this is just a heartwarming story. It comes your way courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com.
I'm going to cry.
I hope not, but I might. And if I do, that's okay. It's okay to cry, Heidi.
And if I do, it's okay.
If I do. River Dave, overwhelmed by offers and support after his cabin burns down. River Dave, by the way, is an 81-year-old Air Force veteran. He's been living off the grid in New Hampshire for about 3 decades. And then his cabin burned down last week. His real name is David Libstone. 27 years he's lived in a small cabin. He had solar panels to generate electricity. He lived in a wooded area. And he was jailed July 15th on a civil complaint sanction for allegedly squatting on the property's owner's lot.
Okay.
In the afternoon of August 4th, his cabin was burned to the ground.
Aww.
He was released August 5th from jail after a judge ruled he would have less incentive to return to his spot if the cabin was gone.
Aww.
Cabin may be gone, but he said he gained something else from the ordeal. He said, I went into jail with nothing and I came out with a whole world behind me. Many people have offered housing and support in the aftermath of the ordeal. Offers has come from all over the place, as far away as California.
Wow.
The resident who befriended Mr. Lidstone posted Monday on Facebook that he has hope for a new beginning. There's a video here of River Dave, and there's some really nice notes and things that have been passed along. I think it's really, really cool, and I feel bad for the guy. And I understand if somebody else owned the land, and he probably shouldn't have been on that land.
Shouldn't have been on the land.
I don't think the answer was to burn his place down.
No, I agree.
So I wonder if somebody
Seems
will
a
get
bit
charged
extreme.
for arson for that. I don't know. That whole thing seems fishy. I do have a link to the story if you want to read all the details, but I think it's really cool that a lot of people reached out and said, hey, River Dave, come hang out here.
River Dave.
We'll take you over here. Come hang with us. He's a veteran, and hats off to you. Thank you for your service. And again, I hope that everything gets ironed out and it all works out. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show.